Hey everyone, welcome to English Pod, where we make learning English fun with How I Met Your Mother. In this series, I'll break down keywords, slang, idioms, and cultural references from each episode to help you improve your English naturally. Watch before or after the episode to boost your understanding. Subscribe and turn on notifications. Let's dive in.
So our mission today, it's pretty simple, really, but powerful. We want to unpack some of those really useful words, those phrases from one episode.
So you can add them to your own English toolkit.
Yeah, and communicate with, more confidence, maybe a bit more flair.
It's like giving you a backstage pass to some common English expressions, but used in a context that makes sense, kind of like leveling up your conversational English, maybe.
I like that, leveling up. Okay, so grab your mental notebooks, everyone. We are heading back to Season 1, Episode 16, the one called Cupcake. Hilarious title.
It really is. And that episode, it's just packed with everyday English.
It is. So let's start with some key vocabulary. First word we noticed, dump, as in dump someone.
Oh, yeah.
It hits you right away because Ked, well, in a move that makes you kind of cringe, he dumps Natalie on her birthday.
Yeah, not his finest moment. So when we say to dump someone, it just means ending a romantic relationship. Pretty direct way to put it.
Very direct.
You might hear, like, she dumped him over text, which, adds another layer, doesn't it? How it happens matters, too.
It does.
It can sound quite blunt, dump. Sometimes in maybe more sensitive chats, you'd hear break up with or end things with. What do you think? Does that bluntness of dump sometimes make it feel more impactful?
That's a really good point. It does have a certain finality to it, right? Almost like ripping off a Band-Aid, maybe?
Yeah, it could be.
Okay, moving on from the dumping drama, we get the phrase blow off. This pops up when someone asks Ted, like, totally shocked you blew her off on her birthday.
Right.
It definitely signals some, let's say, less than ideal behavior.
Yeah.
So what's the actual nuance of blow off?
Well, to blow someone off, it's more than just, not meeting up. It really implies ignoring them, treating them like they're not important.
Okay.
Like if you make plans and then just don't show up, no good reason, or you just ignore their calls, their messages, that's blowing them off.
Got it.
The example sentence, I can't believe he blew me off after we made plans, really captures that feeling, that feeling of being dismissed. Have you ever been blown off? It stings, right?
Oh, for sure. It's that feeling like you weren't even worth a quick text to cancel, isn't it? All right, next phrase. This one's small but important.
Yeah.
Be into someone something. It comes up with that classic line, I'm just not that into her.
Ah, yes.
Simple phrase, but carries a lot of weight and context.
It really does. To be into someone romantically just means you like them, you're attracted. But the great thing is, it's so versatile. We use it for interests, hobbies, everything. Like he's really into photography or she's into indie films. It's just a handy kind of casual way to say you like something or someone without being super intense about it. What are you into these days?
Right now, I'm really into trying out different kinds of artisanal bread.
Ooh, nice. Okay, so after all that relationship chaos in the episode, Natalie mentions needing closure.
Right.
That's a word you hear a lot after breakups, something people often look for. What exactly is closure?
Good question.
Closure is, well, it's that sense of understanding, maybe emotional resolution after something big happens, usually a breakup. It's that feeling that things are kind of settled in your head and your heart, even if the outcome isn't what you wanted.
Okay.
What's interesting is closure isn't always something someone else can give you, Often it's more about you, like an internal process of acceptance. Does that ring true for you?
Yeah, definitely. You can talk it out. But the real feeling of closure often comes from inside, doesn't it?
I think so.
Now, speaking of relationships maybe finding their way back, we have the phrase back together.
Yep.
Because in Cupcake, Ted and Natalie, they actually do get back together. For a bit, anyway. So what's the straightforward meaning here?
It's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. To get back together just means restarting a romantic relationship after you've already broken up.
Simple enough.
Yeah, like the example, they broke up last year but got back together recently. That happens all the time. Maybe, distance makes the heart grow fonder or they realize they messed up. Why do you think people get back together?
Maybe shared history. Or just feeling comfortable. But yeah, like you said, it doesn't always last like we see in the show.
No.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit. New connections. Victoria is mentioned going on a blind date.
Ah, the blind date.
It's a pretty common idea, but for English learners, what does that term mean
Oh,
exactly?
so a blind date is just a date, a romantic meeting between two people who've never met before, ever.
Right. Set up by someone else usually.
Exactly. Usually arranged by a friend who knows both people and thinks, hey, maybe these two would hit it off.
Okay.
It's always a bit of a gamble, isn't it? A blind date. The example, I went on a blind date last night, was surprisingly fun, shows that sometimes, taking that leap works out.
Yeah, sometimes.
But the whole idea relies on trusting the friend, and it can be exciting or, let's be honest, potentially super awkward, which is why shows like How I Met Your Mother love using it for comedy.
Definitely a roll of the dice. Okay, so we've looked at starting relationships, restarting them, but sometimes you realize the best thing to do is to just work away, especially from a tough situation. This idea comes up when Ted's thinking about his feelings. What does walk away really suggest?
To walk away means leaving a situation, particularly one that's difficult or emotionally charged. It suggests it's a conscious choice, removing yourself, often for your own good.
Right, for your well-being.
Exactly. The example, sometimes you have to walk away, even if it hurts, really hits that emotional weight, doesn't it? It's about seeing when something just isn't working for you anymore. Ever had to walk away from something tough?
It's never easy, is it? But yeah, sometimes it's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Okay, last vocabulary item from this episode, long distance. This comes up because Victoria's thinking about moving to Germany.
Right.
What makes a relationship long distance?
Well, simply put, a long-distance relationship is a romantic one between two people who live far apart, like really far, so they can't see each other easily or regularly in person. The example sentence, they're trying to make their long-distance relationship work, points to that extra effort, right? The commitment needed. Things like time differences, travel costs, they can make it really challenging.
For sure. Okay, so that's some fantastic vocabulary to start using, talking about relationships, life stuff. Now, let's shift to some key phrases from Cupcake that'll help your English sound even more natural.
Good idea. Phrases are key.
First one, out of your league. Ted says this about Natalie. She's out of my league. What does that mean? What's the feeling behind it?
Out of your league. Yeah, it means you think someone is just too good for you. Maybe too attractive, too successful, just better somehow.
So it's about confidence or lack of it.
Often, yeah, it reflects a lack of self-confidence. The example, he thinks she's out of his league, but he should at least try asking her out, is about encouraging someone to take that chance anyway. It's interesting how it taps into those societal ideas about who's worthy of who, Ever notice that? Does it feel more common in some places than others? And hey, if you've ever thought someone was out of your league, remember, that's just perception.
That is so true. Like they say, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Okay, next phrase. Put a pin in it.
Ah, useful one.
Used in the episode to kind of pause a discussion. How would you explain using this one effectively?
To put a pin in something, it's an idiom, right? It just means let's postpone this, let's pause this discussion or plan, but with the idea that we will come back to it later.
Okay, so it's not dismissing it entirely.
Exactly. It's a polite, often useful way to just table a topic if you don't have time right then. The example, let's put a pin in this topic and return to it later. That's a super common way to use it. It sounds a bit softer than just saying let's talk later, and it implies you valued the topic. When might you use this?
Definitely in a busy meeting when time's running out.
Mm-mm.
Okay, next phrase. Has a bit of a negative vibe. On the hook? It's used about Ted maybe keeping Natalie on the hook. What's that imply about what he's doing?
Yeah, keeping someone on the hook. It means making them believe they still have a chance with you, often romantically, but without actually committing.
Leading them on, basically.
Pretty much. It suggests some manipulation, maybe, or just being really indecisive. The example, she keeps him on the hook just in case things don't work out with her boyfriend, perfectly shows that idea of keeping someone as a backup. It's definitely not cool, not respectful. Ever felt like someone was keeping you on the hook?
It is a really frustrating feeling. Okay, next one. Drop a bomb.
Yes.
This phrase pops up when Natalie reveals she does Krav Maga. So what does it mean to drop a bomb in a conversation?
To drop a bomb means revealing really surprising or maybe even shocking information, often totally unexpectedly.
Right out of the blue.
Yeah. The example, he dropped a bomb by announcing he was moving abroad, shows how it's used for big, impactful news. It just creates this moment of surprise, maybe even shock. Can you think of a time someone dropped a bomb on you?
Oh, plenty of times. Usually something you just did not see coming. All right, the next phrase feels a bit more proactive. Take a shot.
Hmm.
Often used as encouragement, right? To try something, even if you're not sure how it'll turn out. What's the core meaning?
To take a shot just means to try something, usually something with a bit of risk or uncertainty involved.
Go for it.
Exactly. Seize the opportunity, give it your best effort, like the example, you want the job, take a shot and apply. That's a classic way to push someone to just go for it. So, hey, if anyone listening has been thinking about trying something new, remember this phrase, take a shot. What's something you've been meaning to take a shot at?
Uh-oh, putting me on the spot. Maybe finally trying to bake sourdough bread. It seems risky.
Do it, take a shot.
It's all about putting yourself out there, isn't it? Which is actually our next phrase.
Perfect segue.
What does it mean to put yourself out there? Especially, when meeting people or going after opportunities.
To put yourself out there means making yourself available, often emotionally or socially, taking a chance, especially, like you said, with relationships or new opportunities.
Right.
The example, if you want to meet someone, you've got to put yourself out there, really underlines that need to be open, willing to take some risks to get what you want. It can feel a bit vulnerable sometimes, can't it?
Absolutely.
But it's often necessary.
Absolutely. Can't expect things to just happen if you stay in your comfort zone. Okay, and our final phrase from Cupcake is, it came out of nowhere.
Ah, yes, the surprise element.
Describe something totally unexpected, like a sudden breakup, surprising news. What's the feeling behind this phrase?
It came out of nowhere means something happens suddenly, unexpectedly, like with zero warning.
Blindsided.
Totally blindsided. The example, the breakup came out of nowhere. I thought things were great. Really gets that surprise, that lack of any anticipation. It's that feeling of being completely caught off guard. Ever had something happen that felt like it came completely out of nowhere?
Unfortunately, yes. It's quite a jolt. So, wow, we've covered a really great range of vocabulary and phrases today just from one episode.
Yeah, quite a lot.
We looked at ending relationships, dump, ignoring someone, blow off, liking someone or something, be into, getting emotional resolution,
Glenn.
closure.
Getting back together, meeting someone new, blind date, leaving tough spots, walk away, and dealing with relationships over distance, long distance.
And then all those phrases that just add that extra color, right? Like judging attractiveness out of your league, delaying talks, put a pin in it, leading someone on the hook.
Dropping big news, drop a bomb, taking risks, take a shot, being open, put yourself out there, and being surprised it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
All super useful for understanding and, actually joining in on everyday English chats.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's jump right into the culture stuff first. The cupcake bakery trend mentioned in the text really caught my eye.
Ah, yes.
Apparently, this was like a huge thing back in the mid-2000s, especially in big cities, New York, LA.
Oh, definitely. And these weren't just any old bakeries. They were quite chic, sort of boutique places focused just on cupcakes.
Right.
And you can kind of see the connection to pop culture then, like Sex and the City. That show really glamorized them, didn't it? Made cupcakes seem like this trendy, sophisticated treat.
Yeah, I remember that.
The text even points to Magnolia Bakery in New York. That place became, well, almost iconic because of the show and the trend.
So recognizing that helps understand a slice of recent American city life, I guess.
Precisely. It's about understanding those cultural moments.
Okay, and sticking with vivid language. That phrase, wrestling an octopus, to describe a messy breakup.
Slight chuckle.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
It sounds chaotic.
It is. And that's the point. It's a classic example of using hyperbole, exaggeration in English, especially for comedic effect or just to convey strong emotion.
So like slippery, confusing, too many arms going everywhere.
Exactly. It paints an immediate picture of something totally overwhelming, tangled, impossible to get a grip on. Much more colorful than just saying it was a bad breakup.
Makes sense. It adds real flavor. Then there was the mention of Weird Al Yankovic.
Ah, Weird Al.
The text linked him to nerdy or quirky musical tastes. For anyone listening who might not know him, he does song parodies, right?
That's his main thing, yeah. Hilarious parodies of popular songs. Mentioning him is interesting because it works as a kind of cultural shorthand.
How so?
Well, liking Weird Al often signals, an appreciation for humor, for the unconventional, maybe something a bit outside the mainstream. It's a quick way to flag a certain kind of sensibility.
I see. So recognizing names like that helps decode personality or taste a bit.
It can, yeah.
Yeah.
It adds another layer to understanding references in conversation or media.
Okay, cool. Let's switch gears then. Grammar, always important.
Absolutely vital.
Your source brought up the difference between used to and still. This trips people up sometimes. Can you break it down?
Sure, so used to plus a verb. That structure is specifically for past habits or states that are crucially no longer true.
Finished. Done.
Right. The example was something like, she used to do yoga and eat vegan. The used to tells you straight away that's in the past. She doesn't do that now, or at least the eating vegan part is over. Now, contrast that with still. Still means the action continues right up to the present. She still does yoga. That means she's doing it now.
So she used to do yoga means she stopped, but she still does yoga means she hasn't.
Exactly. Getting that distinction right is key for talking clearly about time.
Makes perfect sense. Then conditional sentences came up, specifically the ones about unreal past situations. Type 3, is it?
Yeah, type 3 conditionals.
Yeah.
We use these to talk about hypothetical pasts, things that didn't happen but we're imagining if they had.
The what ifs.
The what ifs of the past, exactly.
Mhm.
The structure is if plus past perfect tense, then would have plus past participle.
Okay.
The example given was, if I had known she was into cupcakes, I would have stayed longer.
Ah, right. So you didn't know, and you didn't stay longer.
Precisely. It expresses regret or just explores an alternative past possibility that didn't actually occur. Very useful structure.
Got it. And finally, past simple versus present perfect. Another classic grammar point.
Definitely. The core difference is about time focus. Past simple, like dated in I dated this girl Natalie, refers to a completed action at a specific implied time in the past. Right. It's finished.
Like that relationship happened and it's over.
Right. Whereas present perfect, like I have never heard of her, connects the past to the present. It often talks about life experience up until now without pinpointing a specific past moment.
So the focus is on the result now, or the experience over time.
Exactly. The choice of tense really shapes the meaning, whether you're telling a story set firmly in the past or connecting past experiences to the present moment.
Okay, great clarifications there.
Sure.
So just to quickly recap this deep dive, we touched on the mid-2000s cupcake trend as a cultural moment, the expressive imagery of wrestling an octopus, and how referencing someone like Weird Al signals a certain taste.
And on the grammar side, we clarified used to for finished past habits versus still for ongoing ones, looked at type 3 conditionals for past what-ifs, and distinguished past simple for finished past events from present perfect for experience up to now.
Right.
Here's a synopsis of How I Met Your Mother, Season 1, Episode 16, Cupcake. Ted and Victoria's relationship is going great, but things get complicated when Victoria gets an amazing opportunity to attend a prestigious pastry school in Germany. Ted, caught between romance and reason, struggles with the idea of long distance. Meanwhile, Marshall and Lily face financial pressures when Marshall realizes how expensive Lily's wedding dreams are. To make things worse, Marshall's credit card gets declined during dinner, leading them to have an honest conversation about money. On the other hand, Barney drags the newly single Robin into the world of online dating, but Robin quickly regrets it after a disastrous date. In the end, Victoria and Ted share a heartfelt goodbye, deciding to try long distance despite their fears. It's a bittersweet episode that explores love, career choices, and the sacrifices we make in relationships.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed learning new words, phrases, grammar, and cultural references from How I Met Your Mother. I'll be back with the next lesson soon. Until then, bye.